Skimping on the veggies, overloading on soy sauce, and forgetting the all-important spritz of lime. Fried rice may seem like a simple meal, but to get that perfect dish, you'll want to avoid these common mistakes. Some types of rice are better suited for fried rice than others. You might find the starchy, high-calorie taste of short-grain sushi rice perfect for frying. However, as flavorful as it might be, it could prove to be too sticky to make a fried rice dish because of the large amount of starch it contains. Basmati rice has the opposite problem. It is quite dry, and this, along with the lack of starch, makes it more brittle and less suitable for frying. A good option would be Thai jasmine rice. It's more hardy than other grains and won't disintegrate or turn into a starchy clump in high heat. The very fact that Thai cuisine contains so many fried rice dishes is proof of how great the country's rice is for these types of recipes. Another important consideration is the taste of different kinds of rice and how these complement the other ingredients you're using. If you want to cut down on starchy white rice, then you might prefer to make fried brown rice instead, which is rich in fiber.
First thing first, you have to wash the rice for sure.
Your first step is to rinse the rice before cooking it. Add the uncooked rice to a sieve and rinse under cold water. Dip your fingers in to circulate the grains and rinse away that pesky starch, which makes rice grains sticky. You can also check for any impurities in the rice if it's been scooped from a big bag in a store. Sticky rice isn't appealing when it's fried. Any seasonings and ingredients you add don't get mixed into the grains properly, as the flavors cannot surround each grain. The grains also cannot brown as quickly if they are stuck together. This results in a heavy dish rather than a desirable fluffy one. No matter how you dress it up, fried rice without any seasonings is bland. Lean into the classic flavors of Asian cuisine by adding some salty soy. The tang of rice vinegar can also lift the flavor profile and give the acidic notes a boost. Balance these elements out with just a sprinkling of sugar, which will restrain the salt and acidic elements and boost the flavor as it browns. Another great ingredient to add is sesame oil, though it's important to use it sparingly as it can overpower any dish. The nutty, toasted notes can give fried rice a luxurious depth of flavor if they are subtle. It's best to use this oil as a seasoning at the end rather than frying the rice in it.
Dang, dude, this fried rice destroys. How'd you get all this flavor?
Sesame oil and salt.
If you're feeling adventurous, you could add in some salty fish sauce or oyster sauce, as they are both commonly used in Thai cooking. If you're the type to sauté ingredients on low to medium heat, then it's time to turn it up, big style. In Asia, street-side woks are fired up with intense flames, so that when the ingredients hit the oil, there's an instant frazzle. You will want to make sure that you have a non-stick skillet or a wok for your cooking. If you are cooking on gas, turn it up so that the flames heat up the sides of the wok as well as the bottom to a high temperature. Then you can begin frying the ingredients of your dish. It is advised that you fry each ingredient separately so everything will be cooked evenly. For example, once you've got your oiled wok nice and hot, take it off the heat and fry your egg. Take the nearly cooked scrambled egg out of the wok and then fry your protein and any veggies. Now you are ready to fry the rice. Make sure your wok is super hot. This ensures that the moisture from the rice will burn off immediately instead of getting stuck in the pan, which creates a steaming effect instead of frying. Do not continuously stir the rice, but rather flatten it out a little along the bottom and sides of the wok and leave it to catch some color. Good fried rice requires a generous amount of oil, and it's important to use the right type. What works best is a neutral oil, as you don't want the taste of it to dominate the somewhat delicate flavors of rice, vegetable, and protein. You also want to use an oil that has a high smoke point so you can heat your wok to a high temperature. Canola is a great choice, as is refined peanut oil. Avocado oil is also ideal for its high smoke point and lack of taste. This way, the flavors you choose, such as ginger, kimchi, pineapple, or whatever else you would want, can be the stars of the show. For Japanese-style fried rice, try using butter in place of oil or along with it. This will improve the browning and give your dish a more indulgent taste. Oils to avoid include coconut oil and olive oils, which are anything but neutral and will add too much flavor to the rice. With oils, you might find it easier to squirt your oil into the wok with a squeezy bottle rather than pour it from a bottle so that you can cover the surface. With either oil or butter, you will want to swish it around so that the entire surface, including the sides, are covered. You can elevate Asian flavors with some toasted sesame oil, but not at the cooking stage, as it will burn quickly. And remember to only use a small amount. It's not that you can't use a skillet to make fried rice, it's just that a wok works much better on so many levels. Either way, be sure that you are not using a pan that is too small. A small pan won't let you move the ingredients around. This prevents each grain from browning beautifully and will lead to burnt rice instead of toasted. You are also likely to make a bigger mess, as you won't be able to lift the rice and other ingredients without them going everywhere. While a skillet can do the job, a wok is ideal for its depth and shape, which affords a larger surface that heats up. This means that as ingredients touch the sides, they're still being fried. In a traditional frying pan, the cooking area is the flat surface only. In a wok, it's the whole pan, so you can toss the grains and they'll still fry evenly. Another option is to use an instant pot. You can cook the rice and other ingredients on the pressure cooker setting, and there is no compromise on taste. There is also little chance of burning the rice, since you're not having to deal with a large hot wok. You can actually make quite flavorful recipes this way. Free pouring soy sauce may sound liberating, but don't go overboard. Add too much and your dish will taste salty, and it can even give the other ingredients a burnt aftertaste. Aside from ruining the flavor, a lot of soy transforms crisp rice grains into sopping wet ones, and a dish that's no longer palatable.
Sneaky, sneaky soy sauce.
Proceed with caution, and remember, it's easier to add more than try to get rid of an overflow of soy sauce. Since you will no doubt serve soy sauce when eating the fried rice, hold back on how much you use when cooking. Try adding it once the dish is nearly done to the inside of the wok rather than directly on the food. This will flavor the ingredients and leave some of the salt behind on the hot pan. Egg fried rice that's served with Chinese dishes isn't exactly laden with loads of veggies. That's fine, as it's served as a fluffy side. However, you can definitely make more of a meal out of it by not skimping on vegetables. If you're wondering what to add, then there's no fixed answer, and that's what's so fantastic about fried rice. You really can add what you like. It's an excellent opportunity to use up whatever is left in your fridge, and don't be afraid to be adventurous. Just be sure not to use any watery vegetables that are going to turn your fried rice soggy. Vegetables add color, taste, and texture. Cut whatever you use small enough so that it mixes well with the grains and isn't tricky to eat. You can also use frozen vegetables, such as frozen peas and carrots. Whatever vegetables you add, make sure you give them a flash fry in your wok first, along with any aromatics like garlic before adding your rice. If you saute onions, then put them on top of the rice once you've added it so that it doesn't burn. To bulk up fried rice and boost the flavor profile, make sure to add some kind of protein. What you add is up to you, so use whatever protein you're feeling, even shrimp.
Shrimp fried rice. Shrimp fried rice.
You can use raw protein and cook it in your wok before adding the cooked rice, or even throw in some protein that's already been cooked, such as some rotisserie chicken. If you prefer pork fried rice, you can use ground pork and dress it up with carrots, ginger, and garlic. If you want a vegetarian-friendly or a meat-free dish, then you can always add tofu. If you're really hungry, you can top each serving with a fried egg. However, an absolute no-no when making fried rice is to add beaten egg to the grains in the wok in the hope that they will turn fluffy. They won't, and the whole dish will become a soggy mess. Instead, start by whisking eggs so that the yolks and whites are mixed together. Fry the eggs in a wok without browning or overcooking. Once they look a little scrambled and cooked, take them out. Add them again when the rice is fried and your dish is nearly done. There's nothing worse than stodgy fried rice. When you dig your fork in a bowl of leftover steak fried rice, it shouldn't feel like you're shoveling wet concrete. The best fried rice is full of flavor but still light and airy. To achieve that hallmark texture of individual fried grains, you must avoid using wet rice at all costs. The dry grains will fry to create a nutty fried rice texture rather than a steamed mush. You can't make fried rice without cooking the rice first. Like dried pasta, it takes more than a few minutes to cook rice, and therefore, to make a wok-fired dish, you need the grains to be cooked and ready to sizzle in the pan. Once cooked, let the rice cool down properly before you use it so that it dries out a little. If you can, it's best to use it when it's a day old. That way, it's lost some of its wetness and will fry better. If you add hot-cooked rice to a baking sheet and leave it out on the counter, this will help. You can also keep leftover rice in the fridge so that even more moisture evaporates. A great tip is to separate the grains with your fingers first, adding a layer of cooked rice to a baking sheet. Leave this tray in the refrigerator overnight. Once out of the fridge, you can rub the grains to break them up again. Adding a little oil to your hands can help. In Thailand, fried rice usually comes with a long green onion on the side and a wedge of lime. This isn't just garnish. Squeeze some citrus juice on your finished dish and taste the difference. You can also add some in while the ingredients are frying, but you definitely need a spritz at the end. If you don't have any limes, then you can use lemons instead. What you want to create is a contrast between the salt of the sauce and the sour bite of the fruit.